you did not know specifically at the time is that the CHC depot is one of the licensed depots.
Yes.
When did you make this discovery?
I think when Captain or Lieutenant Colonel Duma was giving his evidence.
When you enter the harbor, are these areas not behind some level of security so that I, Mashapisin Loke, can't just wander in? This is harbor operational areas. They are controlled. And I think Colonel Sanders and Captain Duma testified that you go through security gates. Is that not how it works?
There is a boom gate manned by a security guard, Commissioner.
So it's a controlled environment?
Somewhat, Commissioner.
What do you mean by somewhat?
It's not the most highly secure, yes, but it is controlled. It's controlled.
Now, did you know or do you know that at these depots, that's where sometimes, depending, that these inspections are undertaken?
Yes, I do.
And that sometimes significant seizures are made from these containers?
Yes, I'm aware.
So your testimony to this commission is that all that activity takes place in less than ideal security environments. Is that your testimony?
In some cases, yes, Commissioner.
Okay, now please explain in which cases do you reference?
Like if I speak specifically about CHC container depot, the depot in itself is not a fortified premises. It's not heavily secured. Except for a boom gate and a security officer manning that boom gate, there's no additional security that I was aware of.
Okay, maybe before I ask my question, what do you mean by fortified?
I use that word, Commissioner, based on your question of the security at these premises. So, I mean, there's nothing that's...
Sorry, Mr. Law said nothing about security.
I didn't.
What Mr. Law said was, so are you suggesting that these operations take place at less than ideal situations?
Okay.
That's the question.
Okay, yes, I can say that, Commissioner.
And now testing from your experience, because I take it you're a very experienced colonel and police officer, that would not be an ideal environment to conduct the seizure as you did on the 22nd of June.
I think that's a stretch of it, Commissioner. I would say with the right manpower, with the correct members, the tactical team, you've got enough support in terms of tactical members, then it wouldn't be a risk. But on its own, to me, it's a vulnerable location.
And on the day, why then once you discovered the drugs, did you not stop everything? You did indicate that you were responsible. You took the decision not to cordon off the area as you tell us at your paragraph 21. Why didn't you halt all operations until you had sufficient manpower on the day?
Okay. Commissioners, I think on the day, if I had to explain, there's so many things that's going through your mind. Firstly, if I had to put it this way, to let the commission know of what thoughts were going through my mind, what thought process I followed. It's my first visit to CHC container depot. The container was removed from a stack of a lot of it was high up on a stack. They brought it down. It took quite a while to even get that container placed. So when it was placed, I think even the photos in the inquiry will show that there were other containers close by. The working space was not that conducive. So when it was placed and after the photos were taken, the lock was broken. And upon opening the doors, now I'm faced with this magnitude of drugs that we were not expecting. And I look around and I see, okay, there's a container to the right, there's a container to the left. I've got a narrow kind of thoroughfare that I can offload the drugs or unpack bags and lay them out there. However, the area itself was not, it was going to give us a limited space. Even if I did an outer cordon, an inner cordon, that area was not conducive. So my next thought process was, okay, do I now, logistically, do I move this 27 bags to another part of the depot? There would have obviously been another part that would have not been as congested. Do I move it there? But then I look at the logistically, it means us carrying these bags, or how do we move it? Do all our police officers line up and carry it to another place? Do I seal up that container and take the whole container to another workspace? But in my mind, I know the actual crime scene itself is only the container, not the depot itself. So for me, at that stage, I made a decision. I firstly, bearing in mind we didn't have enough bags, the area is small. This is not an offense that required us uplifting physical evidence from the depot. This is not an offense, or the depot itself was not, I wouldn't even say complicit, but they're just an innocent party happened to be in possession of this suspect container at that point in time. If I can give the commission just, to paint a better picture, if this container was at the rear of a truck that was traveling on the N3, and we had information that it had drugs in it, and we pulled over this truck at the side of the N3, do I now say that the side of the N3 is my crime scene and I do an inner and outer cordon there? My point being, I know that's an extreme example, my point being, my actual concern is the crime scene, which is the container. The depot plays no real role in anything, whether I start counting at the depot or whether I do it at a police station, which in my mind is only 4 kilometers away. It's under a 5-minute drive to get there. So I took that decision at that stage based on no bags, based on our situation that we were working in, based on the fact that, like I say, I did not want to unnecessarily prejudice that company. I know these scenes can take hours to process. And where we were at, yes, I could have moved it. But I took that decision based on the distance that Isipingo SAP was away from the CHC depot. 4 kilometers is not a heavy distance. I would say I was more informed to make that decision based on the fact that now we've got uniformed border police guys that are also there. There's 3, me and 2 other members from DPCI. At the back of my mind, I know it's never wise to move exhibits from a scene, but I'm consoling myself by saying to myself that there can never be any question marks or insinuations about the integrity of these exhibits, because I'm now using members that I've never seen before, uniform members in full uniform. We've got a marked police vehicle that can cart the exhibits from the depot to the police station. All of those factors, at once, and I knew in my mind, I knew the Isipingo SAP is going to have exhibit bags. So when we get there, it's going to make putting them in bags, sealing them, all of that much easier, and we enter them into the SAP 13. So that was my thought process, commissioners, when I made that decision. It's a decision that I will now rue, I think, for the rest of my life. It's something that I will regret. I made that decision on the day based on the factors that I've just explained.
I'm sorry, I hope I won't interrupt your thought process. I have serious difficulties with that response. The reason is you have given a number of reasons why you considered it not to conduce to a proper operation for you to work where the container was. You've given a number of reasons. And those reasons have nothing to do with the one reason that you do give in your statement at paragraph 21. You give the reason at paragraph 21 towards the end of your substantiation, and it is the only reason you give. But now in response to Advocate Silo, you give a number of reasons.
Yes.
I have difficulties with that. Is this not trying to rationalize the situation after the event?
Chair, I take what you are saying. And
Because, I mean, if you have so many reasons, surely this is something that you thought about at the time, and something that should also have been uppermost in your mind when you drafted this statement. But it's all of that is simply absent. And you give just one example, and which seems not to be that important to you because you mention it right at the tail end. But it is that one reason that you give in your statement. I don't understand that.
That was my thought process, Chair. You know, there was so yeah. I've got minutes to make a decision that's going to either mean going in one direction and calling the necessary guys out, and maybe there's going to be time constraints for those guys to mobilize. I had a lot of things running through my mind at.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
If at all that was indeed the motivation, but it is not in your statement. All of those are the important reasons, but they are not in your statement.
Yes.
There's the one reason, which when you substantiate now,
Yes.
seems to be something not that important, but it's the only reason that you mention here. That's the difficulty I have.
Uh-huh. Yes, I've got no comment to that, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I am aware it's about lunchtime. Can I just close with one question? Then we'll leave this topic and start a new one after lunch. Okay, now. So now we've established that CHC depot is a licensed depot. We've established that ORS, Durban Harbour, has full responsibility over that area. Do you accept that?
I do.
And you knew at the time. You knew at the time.
I didn't know specifically CHC was listed as this, but I knew Border Police worked there. Yes.
Okay, but
yes.
when you were at this particular depot carrying out the operation, you knew now you are under the auspices or the jurisdiction of ORS Durban Harbour.
May I give...
No, I just wanted to know if you
Okay,
knew at the time, or did
no.
you think that you were next to a public area?
Commissioner, I think my answer to that is I did not think there was any obligation for DPCI now to... I didn't know of this document.
You're not being fair, Colonel. I asked you a simple question. Did you know at the time of the execution of the operation whether you were in the area over which the ORS Durban Harbour had jurisdiction? Did you know that fact?
I knew they worked there. I didn't know they had sole jurisdiction, that they were there.
So if there were any security concerns you may have had, you could have called on them. They are available. They are your members. They are part of SAPS.
Yes, but yes.
Did you call them to come assist?
I called the members that were there, Commissioner. There were two that eventually drove the vehicle, but from my recollection, there were about 4 or 5, maybe even 4 to 6 of them that were at the depot.
Colonel, at this stage, you are a very senior member within SOCIU. If you say that there is that as a jurisdiction of for ORS Durban Harbour, there's a command structure within SAPS that I'm sure you're familiar with.
Yes.
If you need assistance, you know who to turn to.
Yes.
And even that day, you knew who to turn to. I would take it you talk to the harbour commander or somebody. You just don't talk to random police members that you see walking past. Surely you don't.
No, in fact, Commissioner, they radioed their commander to inform him that they were going to assist with regards to conveying exhibits to Isipingo SAP.
Okay, we will get there after lunch, but my question is your conduct and your decision. You never called ORS commander.
No, I did not.
So would I be correct then to say the moving to Isipingo had nothing to do with security and had nothing to do with the fact that Umlazi was 11 kilometers from your work area? That was not relevant to your decision at the time.
No, I disagree with that.
Okay.
Commissioner.
Chair, it's 10 past one. I've eaten a bit that hour.
Thank you. For the record,
That's what
so I'm addressing it to him.
Thank you. Then you may proceed. You were helping us work through this.
Sure. Okay, thank you. On the bottom of the same page, Commissioners, page 803, there's an entry 2021-0701, and I state there to CHC depot with warrant officers Pangase and Sibia Tim Flaude of Mega Freight present. Unpack of container in order to verify if the contents of the container, we turn over now to 804, if the contents of the container correspond with the packing list. Unpack and count completed, approximately 5,395 bags, I shouldn't have said approximately, 5,395 bags of, and I named the animal feed, container resealed, contents of container as per the packing list, all in order. Indicated to Tim Flaude, that's the representative of the clearing agent, that our investigation pertaining to the actual container is complete and the container could be released. And then I state that I sent an email to Brigadier D. Naika with regards to documentation furnished by Mega Freight. He is the head of SANEP in head office. So, okay, that's another entry. That's showing that I did go back at a certain date to re-inspect, if you want to call that, or to confirm that there was nothing else further in that container of interest.
Yes. Can I just understand where you say container could be released?
Yes.
This is on the 1st of July.
Yeah.
Where is the SARS customs detention situation here?
Their detention notice, commissioners, was dated the 23rd of June.
Yes.
So I'm not sure whether they they did inspect those other 9 containers. So if they had engaged with us to come through and further inspect this container that we had already inspected, I don't think that would have been a problem. But we did it without them.
Yeah, I guess my question is,
yes,
if you are aware, and I really am just trying to understand the facts at this stage, if you are aware, as you are at this point, that the container is under a detention notice by customs, as you have told us previously, when you, without the involvement of customs, at least according to your entry, there doesn't seem to be a recognition of customs involvement. When you, without the involvement or reference to customs, you instruct the clearing agent or you inform the clearing agent that the container can be released. I'm trying to understand how that works in practice.
Customs Commissioner was aware of our find at that container. I can't say with certainty, but I would think that the interest in it had waned since we had already discovered the narcotics in it. So I'm not 100% sure of the sequence of it.
As we understand, their interest is the bone meal.
No.
Yeah?
In fact, sorry, Commissioner, to just hope that wasn't rude. No, I'm saying they put a detention on this containers. I can't say with certainty, but I would think for the drugs itself, not for this bone meal, because there was nothing wrong or there was nothing amiss with this commodity. You know, there was nothing that was a red flag about the commodity itself. I think what was of interest was the port of origin, which was the port of Santos, which comes up frequently as one of the ports of origin of drugs, large consignments of cocaine. So it's possible it's based on that, but my suspicion is that they put a detention notice on it for the very same reason that we searched it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We had just gone past page 803. If we could perhaps pick up pace.
Okay.
Don't have to read every entry. Just guide us on how to read this document.
Yes. Okay. Maybe. All right. No, it's fine. I don't know if it's of interest, but I've diarized here on the 5th of July, 2021, on page 805 at the bottom. You'll see to FSL and Toti to drop off samples for analysis. So I call it samples here, Commissioner.
What the entry on the other side? We know the entry on your side, you say it's samples for analysis.
Yes.
You even mentioned that exhibit bags and you mentioned their seal numbers.
Yes.
And you specifically say they are handed over for analysis.
Yes.
And an acknowledgement of receipt per B. I was hoping it would be here, but it's not. But on the other side, does the entry also say it is analysis of samples? Because you have to make the
Yes.
request. They must know what this thing is here for.
Yes.
So what is the entry on the other side?
Thank you, Commissioner. You know, when I did hear this come up at the commission, I went through my notes. Unfortunately, or maybe not unfortunately, I neglected to. When I sent it for analysis, I just sent it, I said it's suspected cocaine, and I'm sending it through for analysis. It doesn't make provision, but still, I think maybe I should have stated that it's a sample of a larger consignment of 541. Just to go a little deeper, it's maybe because I had already touched base with Colonel Kuzwayo on this issue that, you know, I neglected to state that on my covering letter to the FSL, but it was not stated there according to your Commissioner.
So it's fair then that there could have been confusion between you and FSL.
I wouldn't say there would have been confusion. You know, Commissioner, during every stage of my interaction with them, it was known that we're sitting with 541 kilos. The FSL can't house it. I'm trying to get rid of this, whether it be via an expedited analysis report, or if you tell me I can take it straight for destruction, whichever way. So they were fully aware. They were fully aware, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner Khumalo. We've made note of the entry at 8:05. Then if we